I think you know it's sort of a lot of things can be said about it. The high-level thing was that eBay was focused mainly on expanding their auction business, and the payment piece originally seemed orthogonal. And I don't know if eBay made any catastrophic mistakes historically. The big they built a much bigger business than they might have otherwise built if they tried to focus squarely on payments early on. And the weird dynamic was, you could say eBay was like a giant Walmart store, and there was a separate company that was running all these cash register machines. And we were certainly nervous that they might get some other people to internally to figure out how to get the cash registers to work. Bill's point, they just couldn't get the product to properly work. It was very tricky. The fraud technology thing made them very nervous to make the product functional. And so they had a secure product, but it was too inconvenient for people to use because of the three-way trade-off Max described. And that's fundamentally why Bill Point never took off. And so basically, it was a 1.5 year long, very tricky negotiating process with eBay to figure out, we should combine these companies, but what's the valuation? And the problem is, the combination made a lot of sense. It was, worth a lot to eBay. It would make a lot of sense for us to combine. And we had basically 5 separate merger rounds of negotiations. And the first 3, you had like weeks of negotiation, and you could never quite get to a valuation. They wanted to pay less, and we thought it should be worth more. 4th round, most intense ever, went on 6 weeks straight. And every meeting, here are the numbers to back us up, and this is what we should do. At the end of 6 weeks, couldn't quite get to this point. At this point, people were really pissed off, especially on the eBay side. We were like this small little company on the side, and I remember the CFO was fists clenched, announced to us, "If you do not sell the company to us, then we will fight." And with that, the whole eBay team stood up and stormed out of the room. And I thought to myself, wow, these companies are never going to come together. And
I said, Peter, less than a year.
Well, it was about 3 months later, yes. But probably the best single investment that we ever made on a dollar basis was 2 months later. Our COO, eBay had this big conference where they brought all their power sellers together in Anaheim, California. Our COO decided to bring a few people from PayPal down, and he printed out all these PayPal T-shirts, and there were about 2,000 of these T-shirts, and he got everybody, all of the eBay's customers, to wear PayPal T-shirts. And at that point, it was like, well, maybe we should talk again. And
yeah, the front page of USA Today had a picture of Meg Whitman,
the eBay CEO,
signing autographs. eBay Live is a big love fest where Meg comes out and everybody just sort of smooches with everybody. And the guy who was getting a signature was wearing a PayPal T-shirt. So I think the point was driven to them once again that we've really become this bizarre.
It was bizarrely synergistic.
Bizarrely synergistic, and they really couldn't be without us anymore.